Let's put on some music. Yeah, sure, man. Let's do that. Going live. And the computer audio is not on. The computer audio, yes. Let's do this first, and then we're gonna copy. Am I really lit that low? Or what? 1 second here. Just no, it's good. It should be fine. Is it better now? I think we're gonna keep it here. That's good. Volume's good. Perfect. And then I'm gonna mute myself, otherwise that would be of an issue. And just gonna send some stuff here so people know that we are sitting here talking to ourselves, which can be good, of course. Yeah. Oh, I have to log in as well now, really? Okay, cool. That is fine, that is fine. Yes. We are definitely live. That's good. That is fantastic. Good. Let's see here. Now we're ready. Ready to sit here and just talk about charts. Just talk about charts, and people are coming in now. That's good. That is really good. We're gonna go away from that screen, of course. Just checking a little bit against silver here, toying with that. Big momentum breakout there potentially. That is very interesting. Short term, very short term, we have this triangle here. Let's see which way it goes. But we did get some really big intraday, swings, which could mark a, like a short-term local top. Actually, it could be. Hello, Mr. Sam. Where is my music? Where the hell is my music? Music. What do we want to hear today? We want to hear... Yes, we will do this. That is the best to spend the final hours of the day here. But my internet is very slow lately, for reasons unknown. But it should pop up here soon. So hopefully the music is not too loud at your end, right? Again, as always, questions, just type them in the chat. I'll see it and we will have a look-see. Yeah, I'm just going through stuff here again, just to see. That bottom call was perfect. 300, amazing. But it's not over yet, as they say. Gene map, okay. I like that. It looks fun, really good. Really good. I'll upload the video for today for the members, which is uranium. Yeah, there is some uranium stocks. That is very interesting, and two of those, we could actually see some good stuff. Copper, yeah, we should, yeah, let's do copper. Good old Copperino. There you are. Go away then. You good. I'm just on another screen here. Copper, let's look at copper, the Copex. Looks good, doesn't it? It looks really, really good. And we turned bullish here at roughly 42. And basically we haven't looked back ever since. Might be a little stretched here. I could see, you know, we're hitting some resistance on momentum. I could see a little pullback here before we eventually go higher. So I actually think that this could very well be a local top. Again, if you don't win by calling tops, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see some sort of whatever stall we get here. I could see whatever, but that is copper. The copper miners, yeah. Big break over here, right back in 2020. That was a big one. This one here was very weird as well, but that was a biggie. And we haven't done a whole lot to say, right? We have been in this one here for basically 4 years, so. But it's getting there, I guess. And copper, again, we had that 20% down day, which basically happened in like, you know, a blink of an eye, and that's not an overstatement. Look at this here. This is copper, and that puke there was, oh, I can't remember. I keep forgetting. I think it was some people speaking, some of the clever guys speaking, you know, and you actually saw copper drop. We're on the 1 minute now, so oh, it's a long way to go. Come on, where are you? Really? Am I totally? Oh, okay, we can't go there. Okay, anyway, I'm gonna do the 15-minute. This here is basically 4 minutes of trading, if I remember correctly. 4 minutes, and you drop 20%. So the charts is really, you know, trying to undo that and trying to, again, a lot of momentum is being generated here. So let's see. But yeah, that was funky as hell. So again, it looks so orchestrated, right? It's very, very weird to have just 20% down because some guy says something about, you know, whatever rate cut, whatever, and then you lose 20%. I don't know. Strange. Like a long squeeze, I guess. Could be, yeah. Yeah, I think we could see that in the miners. Again, we're not gonna, you know, take it for granted that we top there, but I would say that is a possibility. Let's do London Gold here. Yeah, London Gold was a buy here, which we also talked about on the Substack. London Gold looks quite, you know, quite sexy, to be honest, right? Getting back above the previous high of 2007. London Gold looks decent here. FX here, again, we have a one-liner, so we're just waiting for that to break. So this is again one for you. Anything north of like 55, 56. Incredible. And I think you can go in early without any hesitation here. Look at that. Straight over there. Boom. Getting in at roughly 50 makes a lot of sense to me. But yeah, they overall they look quite good, right? So we might not even see that pause there, you know. The thing is, again, if we go back to the Copex, chart here is that, again, let's say we are weekly. So again, if we just break through here, right, there is no, again, then it's going to go to here, right, very quickly. So we are now at 50 roughly. Then we're going to go to 57 up here while we're breaking, you know, weekly, like a 5-year momentum structure on the weekly. And that could generate a lot of thrust to the upside. So yeah, that is, again, keep them questions coming. Otherwise, I'm just gonna, you know, chill and look for various stuff, and I'm just gonna check the Etc list here just for fun. Oh, okay. Coffee, that was a good one. Still not near the target, but broad commodities. Bit of interest here, to be honest. That one. Shell? Yeah, we can look at Shell. Energy. Not there yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see that little, you know, yeah, anything north of 3.3 here in this ETF looks really good. Just gonna check here, grains, precious metals, right. I mean, that's why we are so interested in this level here, you know, where, on silver, right? We could see that mega surge. That's cool. Lean hogs. Again, if you like your bacon, you don't want this to cross 33, basically, roughly. Because then, just like beef, which we also mentioned like half a year ago, is going to be very, very pricey over the next 3 years. Big time. So you do not want that. It will happen. I'm very confident it's going to close, you know, within, you know, a few months. It's going to get there, you know, maybe early 2026. That's when you stockpile your bacon, basically. Bacon. I like bacon. I really do. Soybeans, not a whole lot of thing going on there. Cotton, whatever. This is heating oil, right? Look, again, this is very, very powerful if we break to the upside. Heating oil in a bigger German ETF, right, or exposure. That is very bullish, at least the view is. If we break that way, you can guess what oil is going to do. Copper, yeah, that copper thing there. Cocoa. Oh, I messed that one. I messed that one up so much. Again, I bought it here roughly back in 2023. I sold at the highs, waiting for a pullback. Yeah, that didn't happen. So, yeah. Shell, I can't really share, I guess, Clyde, because it's the we have that on our watch list on the Substack, so I can't really do that. Getting close to some very good stuff though, very good stuff on that one. KSAN, it is a commodity play on sugar and fuel. Yeah, sure. KSAN, CSAN, whatever. What is this? It looks okay. Heavy downtrend though, so always be careful, but I'm just seeing this one here. So if you want to play this, remember we're still downtrend, right? But once that breaks, that's when this is actually not the worst, right? I wouldn't be interested until we break this one here, which is roughly at like 5.3 plus minus, you know. When that breaks, I would be interested again. If I want to get in, that is where I'm like that's it right here, that pocket. Very simple, but still pushing down heavily, and you can see momentum is just heavy red and all that. So and has been basically on the daily for like 2 years. This is the daily, so roughly here, you know, 5.3. I wouldn't mind it there. I wouldn't mind it at all. Again, we're on a downtrend still, so don't expect this one to just blast because you have no momentum yet. But it's a downtrend break. So Ampy, it's an oil stock also. Ampy, I've heard that before. Ampy. It was very hyped at one point, wasn't it? No? Oh, that looks bad. At least for now. Yeah, it looks really ugly right now, right? You can just see this whenever we broke that one there, that was just devastation. And now we're just, there might come something up at one point in time, but we're just bear flagging here also. So let's see what it does. But right now it's not looking fantastic. A bit of supply and demand here, which is again might help a little bit, but is that a back test? That would be sick. That would be sick. Okay, that was sick. That was actually very sick. Look at that. That's sick. But still, you know, it has a lot of work to do, in my view. So also at SLB, yeah, okay, SLB. This one here, no? Or is it Stellar Metals? There are two. Schlumberger, I assume it's the Stellar. Yeah? I assume it is, right? Palantir. Okay, cool. Exxon. Yeah, sure. Okay. Let's check those in a minute here. Just need to know if it's the which one it is. The SLB one here. I don't really like this. Again, if it is this one, I don't. It's just, no. Oh, it's a Schlummy, whatever. Cool. That is contract drilling. Okay. Oh, it's a bit. And that was not good. You actually broke down before, a bit earlier, right? It's definitely this is monthly. Okay, wow. I will see this as again your potential ticket in. It's a bit of a wild beast though, so keep that in mind. But again, I'm not seeing my kind of, you know, structure that I really like, but it doesn't mean you can't, you know. I mean, this one has to break first. That whole, what is that, 2 years of downtrend, that has to break first. Until then, you don't really do anything. So, yeah, there's a delay. I don't know the exact delay, maybe, I don't know, 10 seconds, 20 maybe, I don't know. It's set to ultra low, so whatever that means, yeah. Whatever that means. Palantir, oh, the US government, you know, pouring money into, and actually, again, I have never owned this stock here, and my good friend Burak bought it here at 10. That's nice. Must be nice. That's so good. So Palantir, again, we are wedging up here. So if the blue one breaks, I would be worried, right? The blue one here, I would be worried at that point in time. It doesn't mean that we're just gonna say bonk straight away, but that is where, you know, you could start to see some topping going in, or just sideways for some times and then maybe higher. But the blue one here internally is, yeah, that one I would be worried if that one breaks, and I would never buy it here. Again, this is not my jam at all, and I haven't owned it by any means, but so we might have a little extra daily. What are you doing here, daily? Yeah, I don't know. It looks good still, but there are trend lines that, again, where you is gonna start to say that is not the best breakdown. Of course, when the golden breaks, that is game over, right? At some point in time. But we are in the high end of it. Yellow cake. YCA. Yeah, this one we can do. I think that's fine, even though we track it on Substack, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, I really do like the vibes I'm getting here, right? We have this kind of flag here, breaking out, doing some backtest stuff here, and now we're basically trying to get back above the breakout high at roughly 550. We have two nodes there, breakout, backtest, resumption, head and shoulder, right? You're getting a lot of good confirmation signals here with the downtrend or the flag breakout, head and shoulder pattern. So anything north of 550, and I think this is gonna do well. And you can have a stop below like 450 or so. Below that whole thing here if you want. Large stop, but again, if we ever start to get below that one after a breakout, we might be wrong or the timing is off. But yeah. Iron ore. I only have the Chinese one, I think. If I can find it. Live cattle, no. Even though it's expensive. Tio, I think it's this one here. Bit of a mess overall from the chart, but I just have one line on that interests me at this moment in time. That one. I don't know exactly how to chart this. Otherwise, again, maybe we have some stuff going on here, right? But yeah. But I think these two here, that compression defines what's going to happen. So anything north of like 110 in this Chinese futures here looks really bullish, and anything below like 90 is very bearish to me. So we don't know yet, but I think I'm quite confident that we're going to see the move in 2025. Yeah, we are going to see the move in 2025. Yeah. Yeah, iron ore. What is the time? The futures are closed. Where did we close? Interesting. I'm very interested in here because it's a very big pivot moment here for me on the silver, right? We talked about that yesterday, so even normally I don't look at it, multiple times per day, but when we get to this kind of, what could be a big moment in time for any stock or silver or whatever, then I'm paying a little bit more attention to it. So good volume. That can be good, that can be bad, depending on, but for now it looks amazing. It looks absolutely astonishing on silver as of today still. It did yesterday also, but there's basically no worries now. Of course it could change, but right now there's no worries at all on long-term, mid-term time frames, daily time frames and above basically. What about 4 hours? That's still good. So that is still good. GMV metals. Small stock, yeah? Yeah, small. Ooh, okay, this is actually not the worst. Very simple stuff. I mean, very neat here. I will say, again, this is just my opinion. I'm always just giving my opinion. But anything north of 0.32 looks very good to me. Looks very good to me. Yeah, it does. My first target will almost always be the here. We don't have much to go by, but we do have that high, which is the highest point of the triangle. So I would say 0.7 is a good first target, with a pit stop here, at roughly 44 cents, but I wouldn't worry about that at all. Yeah, that's actually quite interesting. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, that's good. That is good. Yeah, I agree, Adrian. A few, it's silver, still holding on nicely. So. Yeah. Anyone else have something that we should look at? I all got smug today. It really did. Again, day-to-day basis, we don't really care, but it's still well noticeable. What about momentum? Do we have anything? No, it's just noise. No, it's just noise for now. Franco, FNME. Yep. We will do the New York. Two times we said, this could be a buy. Right here, 33. And then at the break up here. And it looks fantastic. Again, I wouldn't buy it here. Again, I have no reason to buy here, but overall, I think we're going to go higher anyway. Looks insanely good. This was a bit of a mess, false breakdown, expanding volatility, but yeah, it looks really good to me. I don't own this one, and I wouldn't buy it here, right? But something can look really good, but you don't really. Yeah, SBSW, again, one of our great calls when platinum broke out at roughly 520 here, roughly 5. And yeah, it looks good. A bit of a flag here on the daily, even though it might look a little bit immature, but it is still there, right? So yeah, the target were 5 to 20, $5 here. We're gonna attack the highs up here. That's my take. Not in a straight line, but and these stocks are very tricky, very, very tricky. So you got to be really careful with the entry. At least you're gonna be, you're gonna look for very clear entries and not have, sometimes you can take, lower grade setups, but you need to be, in my view, very precise with these ones. So. Because they will mess with you. They really will. Good old Bitcoin on euro above again. Toying. Big back test at this moment for Bitcoin. Big back test here. Can we get above? Maybe. Sorry. The US 10-year, yeah. Did someone speak today? We dropped off a cliff here at the US Open. Yeah, Ethereum, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's I don't have much on here as of now, but it looks good, surprisingly. But bit of a breakdown here, from that. But it's going sideways out, so that should be fine. But yeah, a bit of funky one. AGRM, MR, excuse me, Silver Mountain. Yeah, I know this one. I do. Again, I would never buy it here, but again, you have some really good breaks down here, right? You have some really good breaks here, and it's up, you know, a lot. But yeah, looks really strong, but you have to wait for a reason to get into it, in my view, right? And that's not here. Even though again it looks really good, it's not here. You need to wait for some sort of slowing down in volatility, and you need some sort of structure to take you in. Otherwise, you are going to get messed with more often than not. Again, look at the breakdown here, right? Roughly. That was really good. So, yeah. Looks good again, but I would never touch it here. It's too late. You gotta wait for your moment. And that is typically if you get some sort of sideways stuff that will take you in. At least that's excuse me, that's how I do it. So. Exactly. MicroStrategy again, that worrying, right? It's still under heavy pressure, and again, it's not over by any means, right? Not, but you have been breaking that uptrend on MicroStrategy, and it needs to gather steam and start to turn higher. And if we lose that one there, all of a sudden we could drop more. And again, that will mean that Bitcoin is going to go down. So this alt rally, yeah, I'm very confused. People are calling it, but because if Bitcoin starts to puke, which again it could, but again it's still in it is in that little zone where it needs to make up its mind. The alts are going to get smoked anyway, no matter how, you know, but they're going to get smoked. Bitcoin decides everything, so basically. Yeah. Pry. Again, my voice is terrible. It's so rough right now. So you have to. Well, this one here is a good one. We bought that one. So, yeah, it looks insanely strong. Not gonna lie, but there's nothing for me here, right? It's just, yeah, you missed that one, I guess, depending on if you're in it or not. But yeah, I don't really do much here. Would I have ever gotten an entry? No, I don't think so. Maybe, no. No, I don't think so. I don't think I would have gotten that, you know, very clear entry in this one at any point in time. No. Funny, right? It's gone up, but I wouldn't have had a chance. Maybe here, and even then, you know, I wouldn't, I need more, I don't know. So, funny. Looks good though, but be careful. If we start to trade below all-time highs again after that V-shape, people can get worried, you know, up here. So just be careful. Silver Corp, let's do that one. We're gonna do the New York Stock Exchange. Oh, is this one? Oh, I can't do this one here. Nope, I can't do this because it's one we are watching heavily. You know, I can't do that one. Sorry. But it's very interesting, that's all I can say. And Cypherhost again. I'm getting so many mixed signals in crypto right now. It's it makes your head spin, really. I will say this though. Palladium has bottomed there. Confirmed with the backtest at 1080, all the way down to here. Boom. downtrend broken, higher highs made. So that seems to be the bottom for the pullback, and now we're going to go higher for palladium. Yes. Also, platinum here is negating bearish setups, so that looks really good also. And rhodium just looks amazing. It's a very tiny one here, but it looks gorgeous here, and we were turned insanely bullish at 600, which is 6,000 in the rhodium price, but it has a lot more to go. That's really cool. That's really cool. And Lin, what is that? L-I-N. I know for a fact that I haven't seen that one. Lin, Linde? No? This stuff here? What the hell? Chemicals. Wow, what a run. Holy. That's insane. Okay. That is... What a run here. Decent entries right over here. That is good. I like that. Flag here. So we're looking very long term now, so keep that in mind. Can we connect something here on the way up? I think we can. I think we have an uptrend. Yeah, we do. Look at that. Almost picture perfect. Almost. Right, almost perfect. Depending on how we draw this, but yeah. And then we're just in a range now. Basically. Wait, what was that? What the... Right? Range bound for basically 2 years. So that is your, whichever way that goes, that will decide your view. Important internal lines here. If that breaks, you know, we could go down again. So you will probably get some sort of resolution here internally. A break to the upside and 490 roughly takes us higher, and you can add the range to the top there. So your target will be roughly 570. However, if we break that, you know, I think we are in for, could be, again, we don't know, of course, some sort of double-headed head and shoulder, and that could be bad. So I think we will see a big moment there for this stock, which will decide, you know, the next few years. Again, this is done, you know, in like 1 minute time, so there might be more to it, but that is my take right now. Oxy. Oh yeah, it's been a while. There you are. It's a bit too early to say, I guess. We have been breaking this expanding to the downside, which is always difficult to play, but yeah, mixed feelings. I'm not really sure as of now on Oxy. That was a good break though. That was very important, getting about that 45 here. But other than that, it's a very messy chart here lately. Very all over the place. Tricky chart. Very tricky. And BR, that is potash, right? No? Isn't it? No, okay. Drilling. Oh, it's that one. Okay, yeah. There's not a whole lot to it, right? It's just, yeah. Maybe you can wanna, you know, low ball down here at 10, roughly, if we get there. But for now, you know, curvature on this one, Adrian. I don't really fancy that stuff. So but short term, it needs to get above 38. It really needs to do that. Otherwise, we're going to come down further. So that's the first step, and even there, I wouldn't buy it. But it needs to do that in order to have any, chance of actually doing something good. Yeah, we're getting back in. Yeah, it really needs to do 38 and above. And even this is just not perfect. I'm not very satisfied with that whole thing. So yeah. Again, if I were to get in, I would lowball this and say if, again, it's so far away, we will probably not get there. But if we get close to 10, that has been a big bottom for ever. But it's a long shot, and we will probably not get it. But again, if we do, that is no problem, Sam. I like these on-the-fly questions. It's nice to look at charts, that I don't normally look at. So yeah, the 10 is going to be difficult, but again, maybe that low, 15, but 10 seems to be, yeah. So LVMH, yeah. It's the is it this one here on the OTC? I think it is. It has to be, right? Yeah, it has to be. Yeah, it has. Recent months. Is it this one here? I need to know. Otherwise, I will not. But it does look like what you're referring to. Not perfect, but I'll take it. Big back test here. This you could get vibes of Head and Shoulders there, even though the right shoulder is a bit funky. Right, now we're back testing it. So if it is this one, of course, I don't know, Louis Vuitton. Oh, Louis Vuitton. But it needs to do that. So that's all. It needs to get back above the blue line, neckline, and then break the flag here. Until then, I don't see much as it stands today. Long term, we have had some pretty. Oh, that is actually interesting. That is very interesting, right? That's really interesting. All of a sudden, the picture changed, right? Yeah, anything north of like 700, maybe 60, 680. Wow, that looks good. Not perfect here, but yeah, that's actually very interesting. However, if we lose the yellow to the downside here, game over. So right, if we, then you will not be in this stock for many years. HP, let's do that. Let's do 2 more. There are many HP, so I need to know which one it is. Okay, this one. Oh, what is that? Oil? Yeah, contract drilling. It looks like the other one. Oh, You're testing me today. These are, difficult. I will say we definitely have to look at the lower boundary of that whole thing there. This one seems very important. Right, that seems very important. So COVID bottom, yeah, where's that? It's over here, so almost, right? Do we have something to go there potentially that could help us? No, it's too far away, so I wouldn't. Maybe we do actually. Yeah, that's like a legacy channel which can be used. We do have double support. I will say if you get down to, this is March 2026 roughly. If you get down to here, roughly 11, that seems like very big support. Very, very big support. And you can have a stop below like 9 or something like that. You can play a stop like that. That little cluster there seems really good. The cross here. Other than that, we have something going on here. Not perfectly aligned though. Not perfectly, depending on how you want to draw that one. But we could do like a rail, I guess. Makes sense. Yeah, like that. I think it has a lot of thing to do before we look for higher prices, but roughly 11, I think is a good bet, That seems like a good spot, that one. And then we, again, this is the one that's the main one, right? We need to break that one, and that is, almost 20-year-old. So that will take a long time before we get any big momentum breakouts. A very, very long time. But there are options, right? Just checking here, do we have something on the upper side as well? These seems to be aligning pretty well, so can we use that, I guess? Oh, perfect. And then we must be able to do something with it. We must be able to. Then this again, this line here is, you can see it's just dead on, right? It's meaning that has high value. So you're trying to look for the other side. This one is, again, it's a difficult chart to do, but sometimes you can basically drag it out and then you get, yeah, almost here. You can see we're getting close to that one. You can just try to somehow see the alignment. Yeah, there you can see it. 1, 2, 3 here. Breakdown back test a few times. So that is definitely, yeah, you can see the back test trying to yeah, difficult chart, very difficult. Sometimes you can just look at it straight away and just yeah, there it is, you got to buy there and all that. This is not one of them. Snow, which will be the last one. Snow, S-O-V. Snowflake, that's crazy. What do we have? Oh. Okay. I think I like what I see. Yeah, this is good. Break of range here. Right? Let's remove it. Let's make it yellow, make it thicker so we can see what is actually happening. Right, that is actually, we're breaking the range and back testing now. Have a gap below, which, looking at the volume, shouldn't get closed. Could be, shouldn't, no, difficult to say. But as long as we hold the yellow here, which we are basically back testing today, it looks really good. But there's also a lot of pitfalls here where you have to be a bit careful. Right, you have to be a little bit careful here. We don't have the lower one, but yeah, we have to be a little bit careful here, to be honest. It needs to test here, confirm, rally back, get above 250, and then you can have your entry there, basically for the next week or so, maybe a bit more. And then you can have a stop below that yellow at roughly, 225 or 20. Again, a bit of a riskier setup, but it can be done. And then I would target 300 and something, 310. Yeah, 310. Initially, again, that's the first target. So good, guys. I have nothing more. Again, you can hear my voice is getting more and more weak. So hopefully that will change someday. The past week or so has been tough. I will quickly upload the stuff that I have prepared for Substack and such, and then I'll hit the bed. So have an amazing day, guys. It's a pleasure to do this. Again, on the fly stuff. It's difficult, but you practice, and so yeah, that's a good thing. So cool. See you guys. Have a great day. Bye.